Hello everyone! So I've already primed my face with the NYX Hydra Touch Primer and the Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer. And now I'm going in with a mixture of the Macaron Lippies in Pistachio and Black Sesame, mixed with a little bit of the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk to make this like dead bluish green color. And taking a damp sponge, I'm putting that all over my face and eventually down my neck and onto my chest. And don't forget to cover your ears. And once you have that all finished, now we're going to move on to our eyebrows. Taking that Black Sesame Lippy once more on a spoolie brush, I just run it through my eyebrows, make them nice and bushy, make them nice and manly looking, and then we're going to move on to the eyes. I used the NYX Liquid Suede Lipstick in the color Vintage, and just put that all over the eyelid. It kind of sets really quick, so you have to be a little bit careful with where you put it and make sure you get it where you want it. Otherwise, it's gonna just stay there. Taking a similar in color, it's a darker red eyeshadow, and just putting that all over the lid, in the crease, under the eyes to try and blend out that lipstick color even more and try and make it look like, irritated, red, swollen eyes. Just nasty. You want to make them look nasty. And then a little bit on the lips just to kind of make them look dead looking too. And then I'm going to take the NYX Hot Singles eyeshadow in Raven and try and deepen that crease and make the eyes look hollow. And you're a dead guy. You've been in the ocean for a while. You're not going to look too good after a while. I'm also going to take that same black eyeshadow and put it on the center of the lips, kind of actually all over the lips. And now I'm just going to zoom you in for a little bit and kind of disregard this. I'm making veins with that same black eyeshadow, but I kind of stop and wait until I put everything else on before I do the rest of them, because it just seemed like it wasn't going to look right until I put everything else on. And now taking a mixture of Raven and Over the Taupe single eyeshadow, I'm just contouring my nose and my brow bone a little bit and trying to make it a little more, defined, creepy looking. And I take that same mixture into the cheekbones and do some cheek contouring. You want to look hollow, you want to look dead, do it in the temples too, make everything look sunken in and gross. Now comes the fun part. So taking a Q-tip soaked in alcohol, and you're going to remove some of the makeup, and we're going to stick on all the little sea critters that I made. It's all out of like a air dry foam clay, and taking an SFX adhesive. It's contact, so you have to put a little bit on your skin first, then a little bit on the little critter, and wait until they get clear, and that means they're dry and they're tacky and they're ready to stick. And you have to just make sure you know where you want to put them, because they're not coming off once you stick them on. I made a bunch of different ones. I made starfish, barnacles, oyster looking, well, they're more mussels than they are oysters, bits of sea urchins that had been, when a sea urchin dies and they're that like little hollow bowl looking thing, and pieces of coral. This guy has been under the water for a very long time, walking around down there, and everybody's kind of hitched a ride on him at this point, and he's just taking him along, doesn't really care. He's up to his piratey business, and he's really not, too concerned about how terrible he looks at this point. Stretch it out. We're halfway through this now, and I decided to go a little bit more heavy on one side than the other because it just looked a little more interesting to me. It seemed if I put them kind of evenly on one side than the other, it didn't seem natural, because coral and anything in the ocean or in nature in general really doesn't do symmetry. It's more just wherever they decide to grow, they're gonna grow. Nobody's gonna tell them where to go. So that's what I figured, and just trying to figure out where to put things and playing with different placements and stuff like that, and what's not going to inhibit me moving my head. Eventually I did this once and glued a piece of coral one way and then couldn't turn my head to the right, so gotta be careful where you put them, but also don't be too systematic with where you stick them. And now, hello, we have a lot more on our chest now. It was basically just the same thing over and over again, so I figured it wasn't too educational to show you the same thing over and over again. So now that we have everything down, now we take a black, it's the same black eyeshadow from before, Raven, and we're just kind of gonna go around all the sea critters and kind of like they're infecting him, and out from those sea critters we're gonna take a thin brush and we're gonna make those veins again. We're gonna go back to the veins. Now that everything was down, it seemed like it made more sense that those veins were coming out from underneath these creatures instead of just haphazardly all over the face. Taking a sea sponge, I'm taking a mixture of Raven and that same dark red eyeshadow that we used on the eyes, and just stippling on this texture so the skin doesn't look as, it doesn't look flat. I wanted to break up that blue color a little more than the veins gave me. So, and it just gives it an all around, you know, he's dirty looking, he's gross, so it makes it look even nastier than it did before. And then I'm taking the damp sponge with our same teal gray lipstick mixture, and I'm just going over all those so they kind of sink into the skin so it looks translucent. And now I'm taking an alcohol activated palette with some dirty brown colors and putting them all over my teeth because pirates don't have nice teeth. And this one especially doesn't have nice teeth since he's been dead for so long. So make them look gross, make them look nasty, put a little bit on your lips, and that is it. Here is my cursed pirate. Isn't he darling? And to finish the whole thing off, I've got this tentacle headband that I made out of the same air dry clay with just tinfoil as a base, and I airbrushed the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this is my entry for the NYX Face Awards 2019. See you later!